Go ahead and start working on that multiplication problem, and we'll go over it in just a second. Alright, so when we start multiplying, 8 times 5, what's 8 times 5, everybody? 40. So it may look strange to put a 0 first when we're used to doing that on the second row, but you needed that because this is 40. Alright, and carry that 4. And then 8 times 7. I know that slowed some of us down, but what is 8 times 7? 56. Hopefully you're starting to go 56. You just recognize that. Plus 4 more gets you up to 60. Okay, so your top row should be 600. Okay, and then we're done with the 8 and put the 0, the dinosaur egg. Okay, and then we move on to 3. 3 times 5, everybody? 15. Put the 5 and carry the 1. And then 3 times 7, 21 plus 1 more, 22. Okay. So second row there, 2,250. Add them up, 2,850. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Questions there? Something you're not sure of? I think we're getting a lot more comfortable with this. Okay. Let's do this. Let's see, I guess I'm going to have to do that. That is really strange to me how the board came up. I'm going to have to look into that. If I gave you this fraction, and asked you to change it to an improper fraction, okay, take a second to do that. This is a mixed number. You're changing it to an improper fraction. We did this over and over yesterday, several days last week. And I'll even give this hint. There are no number bonds right now. And don't sit there forever going, I don't know much else. I don't know. Then come over here and do this. And that should take you 2 seconds. Okay? So don't sit there and try to figure out your 12s and do, no. Go over here and turn it and do this. Okay? Because we know that way, and that's way faster. All right, what do I do on this? What's that method called that we, yeah?
Forgot the method.
What's the name of that method? We write it up in the corner a lot of times. What's it called? Math. Okay. And so if you need to, write it up there. Okay. All right. So when we use math, we multiply, we add, and then we put it over the denominator. So what two numbers am I multiplying together? I know I gave you a hint already, but what?
12 and 4.
12 and 4, which is what?
48.
48. You know, it's a little bit bigger number, and then we've got to add an 8 to it. I'll tell you what I would have had to have done. I would have had to come over on the side and done this also. Okay. Could I sat there and have counted that up? Sure. But I also could have done this. And so that makes 56. And then we put it over that denominator, so 56 twelfths. We've just got to be super comfortable going from mixed numbers to improper fractions and improper fractions to mixed numbers, because it's going to be inside of a lot of our math problems with fractions. Just imagine this. Imagine if you were not comfortable subtracting, okay? And we start long division. You know, let's rewind a little bit. And you hate subtraction and you're not good at subtraction, you're not comfortable with it. That would be hard, wouldn't it? Really hard. Okay? Well, I don't know if everybody in here loves subtraction or was super comfortable with it when we started long division, but you kind of had to get that way, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Or you were going to have a really tough time. Okay? So, I think we can all do this. We just need to get a little more comfortable with it. Make sure we know, okay, I do mad when I'm going this way, and I do the number bond when I'm going the other way. Okay? All right. See, when I'm doing a number bond, I'm trying to figure out how many whole numbers are in something. This already has a whole number with it, so I don't need to do the number bond. Maybe that will help you when you're trying to decide, you know, which one to do. Okay, let's stop there with review and go ahead and put the tops on your markers. I want to show you what we're doing today. Okay, and this is it. Let me just tell you. I could put the target up there, but let me just say it. All we're doing today is adding mixed numbers. Now, yesterday we added a mixed number and a fraction. Both of them were not mixed numbers. Today they're both going to be mixed numbers. Okay. So, you know what to do when we have that situation. So let me give you an example. See, it's not even acting like, and this is on. Okay. And this is on. It does. I guess I have to follow these rules when this is on. Like it doesn't let you erase like the regular board. It's really weird. Okay. Anyway, if we have this problem, 2 1/8 plus 1 5/8. Okay. All right. So please put your marker up. I don't want you. We're just gonna watch it first, and then we are gonna do these. Okay. All right, guys. A mixed number has two basic parts, doesn't it? What are they, Mason? What would you say would be the two parts?
One part is
the whole number.
And then one part is the remainder.
Okay, it's kind of like a remainder, and it's a fraction, isn't it? Okay, so we have a whole number part and we have a fraction part. And so we're going to do this adding in two parts. We're going to add up the things that are alike. We're going to add up the whole numbers together. And then we're going to add up the fractions together. And a lot of the time, it's going to be as simple as that. It's just going to, but I need you guys to be on the lookout today. And anytime you have a problem like this, because a lot of the time, there's going to be an extra step. We're going to see that. All right, so if I were to take my two whole numbers, which are here and here, and add them up, what would I get? This is the tough part right here. What would I get, Will?
3.
I'd get 3. So I'm going to put that. Okay? And now if I'm going to add my fraction parts, which are right here, 1/8 and 5/8. What am I going to get, Gage? I've got 1/8, 5/8, 6/8. 3 and 6/8, and it really is as simple as that on some of our problems. Put your whole numbers together and put your fractions together, as long as the fraction is, I guess we could call it a proper fraction. This fraction is okay to leave just like that.
But if it's an improper fraction, you can't. You have to change it.
You can't, and that's that extra step that I was talking about that we're going to take care of. And it's not hard to take care of it. It's just we got to do it. Okay? Okay. So let's practice maybe one or two like this. I don't like that one. Okay. That's the problem. Let's do this. All right, so grab your marker and let's try this one right here. All right, this one just happens to be both the same fraction on both sides. All right, so you're going to add your whole numbers. Go ahead and write this one on your board, and then you're going to rewind. You're going to add your Okay, you're going to add your whole numbers, and then you're going to add your fraction. So what do you think you would come up with if that's what you did? Okay, think of it in two steps. Whole number part, fraction part. Charlotte, what did you wind up getting?
4 and 4/5.
4 and 4/5. Anybody agree with that answer? Okay. When I add these two whole numbers, yes, I most definitely get 4. And when I add these two fractions here, 4/5. So 4 and 4/5. Yes. Nothing hard about that. Okay. We can even show that on the number line. Some of our problem set wants us to see that. Now, when you have a number line problem, like if it says add the number line, let me show you something. Okay, let me have your eyes. You don't have to always start a number line at 0. We know that by now. But let's just start right where we are. Okay, let's let that be a 2. We know that this is going to go a little past 4, so I'm going to go all the way to 5 so I have enough space. Because I need to kind of go from 2 to 5 here. So 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I'm not going to start cutting everything up. I don't even have to do all of that. Guys, you might miss something if you're busy writing on your board, so give me your eyes. 2 and 2/5. Okay, so I might need my 5ths to be here so that I can show that. I'm starting at 2 and 2/5. I'm starting right here. Okay. And I'm going to show 2 and 2. So 2 right here. I guess I don't have to mark my starting place. Let me cover that up. 2 plus 2 more. Let's turn that red. Okay. There's 2 right there. Oh, that's 1. What am I missing here? Oh, the 2. Oh, never mind. The 2, okay, because we're on 2. 2 plus 2 more, and then 4/5. This is really the one that needs to be 5ths. Okay. So we would land at 4 and 4/5. Okay. All right. We're not going to be drawing the number line today. Maybe that's a good thing. But you can show it happening on the number line. Okay. Let's try actually, well, try it with me. Let's do this one together. Don't need a huff. 5 1/3 plus 6 2/3. Okay. Now, if we follow the directions Miss Wendy's already given us, we're going to add our whole numbers first. So let's do that. Okay. 5 plus 6.
11.
Okay. 5 plus 6 is 11. All right, we're adding our fraction part. 1/3 plus 2/3. Raise your hand. Okay. I've got 1/3 and I add 2 more thirds. What am I going to get? 3. 3 what? 3/3. Okay. So 11 3/3. Okay. That's what we get though, right? But do we leave it like that? No, we do not. Okay. Because we've got this whole number and this other part. It's almost like we've added them together. Okay. What do we know about this?
If you have a hole in the fraction piece, you add another hole to that hole.
Exactly. Guys, this is a whole number now. All the pieces are there. This is a fraction. A fraction is a piece of something. But when all of them are there, it's the whole thing, isn't it? So it's kind of like it takes a step into the world of whole numbers when all the pieces are there. So when all those pieces are there, this is no longer 11 3/3. This is 11 plus 1 more. Y'all see that? Can't see it if you're looking down. This is 11 plus 1 more because all the pieces are there. This is equal to 12, and there's your answer. Okay. So if all the pieces are there, just change it to a whole number. Simple. Okay. Questions about this? Yeah.
Could you do it in your head?
Yeah. Am I going to ask you to do like a number bond or something, or a
No, like
mad
the
or?
problem set. Like the 5 1/3 plus 6 2/3.
And just land on 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, that something as simple as this. If you do that, that's fine. Y'all are getting to the point where now, in the other situation we're fixing to have, no, I'm going to need to see the work. But in this that's fine.
I don't have a question, but it's easy.
This isn't hard. This isn't hard.
It's easy.
And the next part I'm fixing to show you. It's not hard. You've just got to catch it. You've got to make sure you catch. Oh, I got to change this. Okay. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. Okay, so let's clear that one off and let's try a few more. Some of them will need to change and some of them we won't. I'm going to come back to that one. Let's see. So let's look at this. 2 5/8 plus 3 5/8. Okay. So if we go ahead and add our whole numbers, what are we going to get, everybody? 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. We've known that for a long time. But if we add our fraction parts, what fraction do we come up with? Yes. 10/8. Okay. Now sometimes we get in a hurry. This is where I need you to put your marker down for just a little bit. Sometimes we get in a hurry and we put that as an answer and we move on to the next problem. We're ready to go. Except something's wrong here and you cannot leave it like this. Okay? What is it? It's not a hole. It's more than a hole. What? This little piece right here is an improper fraction, and we can't leave it like that. Okay? So what do? We're going to take this. Now watch. I know this is a mixed number. Miss Wendy, we don't do number bonds with mixed numbers. I know that. But I'm going to do a small one right here with just that piece. With just that piece. So I've got my answer to the adding problem, but I have to change this. 10/8 Okay, I'm going to pull out the 1 whole. These are eighths. So what is 1 whole going to be with eighths? 8 eighths. Okay. And when I take 8 of those 10 away, how many are left over? 2. Okay. 2 eighths. Now this one is a whole number. Okay, watch. Because you're going to have to do this. You're going to be showing this. Okay. This gets added to this. Because that's our whole number piece, right? Well, we just found another whole number. We've got to put it with that. Because we're going to keep our whole numbers together. We're going to keep our fraction pieces together. So that 5 just changed to a what? 6. It just went up by 1. So I really have a new answer. It's 6. These two added together. And then don't forget this guy. He's just as important. Okay. 6 and 2 eighths. Okay. So today when you add them up, that part's super simple. Putting that all together, super simple. But when you get here, if this is an improper fraction, stop for a second. Pull out that whole number and add it to the whole numbers. And then create your new answer. So Ishmael's right. This is not hard, but right here is where I have a lot of people forget to check that, and they don't, they leave it as this as your answer when you've got to change it. Okay? Do we have this much when we add it together? Yes, but we can't leave it that way. Okay? All right, so this is what we need to practice, is just how to finish these problems. Let's go to, that's fine. Okay. Clear your board. We'll put this new problem. This looks very similar, but that's okay. We've got 5 and 5 eighths plus 6. Can we just do this exact? No.
Yeah. We just pretty much.
I know the fraction part's the same. The whole numbers are a little different. That's okay. Well, that's fine. All right, so you're going to add your whole numbers.
We did this.
The whole number part was different. I don't know.
No, because I got 11 and 10.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking. Okay. Let's change this. All right, here we go. Sorry about that, but it just looked too similar for some reason, and then there was a good reason it was. Okay.
The exact same one? Yeah.
You know that's driving me crazy. Okay. Here we go. All right, so what do we get when we add 3 and 7? Charlotte, what? 3 and 4, I'm sorry. What do we get when we add 3 and 4? 7. You're welcome for the answer. There we go. All right. But what about 7 eighths and 4 eighths? Okay, so we have 7 eighths and 4 eighths. How many eighths would that be? So 7 and 4. Okay. So we've got 11 eighths. All right, are we good? Or do we have another step? Have another step. Okay. So let's start that other step. Grab that fraction. That's the piece that's got to change. It's going to change the whole number, but that's the piece we're going to work with right now. Okay. And we're going to pull out the whole number. Okay, we said a minute ago 8 eighths is what makes a whole when we have eighths. If we pull out 8 from 11, how many are going to be left over? Martin, how many?
3/3.
3 3/8. There you go. Okay. All right. So we're not just going to leave it there either. We're going to take this guy and add it to this. And if you need to draw that arrow, that's what helps you draw that. You don't have to, but I want you to realize these are going to go together. So 7 and 1 more is 8. And then you just have your little fraction guy hanging out there that comes up and joins the fun, okay? All right, so is this, super difficult? No, it's just remembering you've got to add that step in there, okay? All right, so we've seen this and done this together twice. Let's try this on our own a little bit more this time.
Can you give us 2 fractions? One with multiplication, not multiplication.
Right now we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. Just to practice that, but we might add something different a little bit. Let's take 1. Give that a try. 9 and 11/12 plus 10 and 5/12. We'll work through it in a minute to check it, but so I'm seeing a lot of the same answer, so hopefully, let's see if that same answer is correct, okay? All right, so what would we do first here? Brandon, what would be our very first step?
Add up the 9 and the 10.
Yeah, those are our whole numbers. That's where we're going to start. So 9 and 10, 19. Okay? What's our next step? What are we going to do next? We've taken care of our whole numbers. Now, Valerie, we're going to take care of our fraction. So we're going to add the 2 fraction pieces. We're going to add 11/12 and 5/12. And Bailey, what would we have when we added those 11 and 5? Yep, 16/12. Okay? All right, what would we do next? We would either stop or we would go on and do something else. What would we do next?
You would make one whole with 12. I mean, put a number wrong.
On which part?
6, 12, 16, 12.
Okay, you recognize that this is improper right here, so we've got to make a number bond with it. We're going to pull out, how many of those 12s are we going to pull out to make one whole? 12 12s. How many are left over after we pull the 12 out? How many are left over? Yeah?
4, 8, 4, 12.
4 are left over. Okay? This is a whole number, and what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with that 12 12? Add it with the 19. Okay? So our final answer, and I saw this on a lot of boards, was 20 because of this and this, and the little 4 12s that are still hanging out there. 20 and 4 12s is what I saw in a lot of places. Okay? All right. Now, what questions do you have, or any comments you have that you think might make this easier for us? Okay?
Have confidence that you can do it.
Yeah. Have confidence that you can do it. I like that. All right. So if I go back, not back, but if we give it, let's just do a few for practice. So here's one. Sometimes our numbers get a little bigger, but that's okay. I'm not going to let a little number scare us off. Okay, go ahead with that one. So what do we do first? Caleb, what do we do first?
We add the 21 and 10.
We add the 21 and the 10, and we get
31.
31. 31. 47. Okay. And then what do we do? Okay.
You add 2 and 2/5.
We add the 2/5 and 2/5. Okay, the fraction pieces. And when we do that, we get what? 4/5. Okay. All right. And then what do? We do nothing. Because why?
It's not an improper fraction.
No. Okay, I like, you know, and I'm hearing 4th grade answers. It's not an improper fraction. There's not another whole. There's not a whole there. There's not, is there? It's just a piece.
There's not a whole.
It's not a whole number right here. It's just a piece. Okay. All right. I did see this. Okay. I was walking by and somebody had already done this. But then, no. But then I saw this. And they were going. And they were doing kind of what I have to do sometimes. You know, they jumped in there and started doing that number bond and then went and put the brakes on and realized I don't have to do that. Okay. If you start doing that number bond and all of a sudden you're like, okay, there's not enough, hey, back it up. You know, erase it. This is your final answer. You did not have to do that number bond thing because this is not an improper fraction. We can have 4/5 and we leave it as that. Okay? All right, let's try one more. Maybe 2. Maybe 3. Okay. 4 and 7/12. This lesson likes 12ths, I guess. And 16 and 9/12. Okay, give that one a try. do first? If you're finishing up, finish it up. Keep going. What do we do first, Gage?
You add 16 plus 4.
16 and 4. And when we add 16 and 4, Brandon, what do we get?
20.
20. Sure. Okay. And then we move to what, Isabella? What do we do next? Yeah. We add the fraction pieces, the 9/12 and the 7/12, and when we put those together, Alexandra, what do we get when we add 7/12 and 9/12? 16/12. And you're probably starting to learn to catch that. Oh, yeah, boom, it's too big. Okay. There is an extra step here. You are going to have to do that number bond right here. What are you going to pull out first? What are you going to pull out first? Yep. One whole, which is what in this? 12/12. That's one whole. And then what's left over? Yeah. 4/12. So this is one whole. It goes with the group of whole numbers. So that's going to change to 21. And then add in your little fraction piece. 21 and 4/12. Okay. I did see that. Any questions about? You guys have done really well with this. All right. I think we can pause there and take our little break, and then practice this some more on our problem set. It's just a matter of when you get to the final answer, slow down. Is it able to stay that way? Okay. We are not going to work with the number lines today. We're just going to straight do the adding. So.